Um, and then the first structure that we want to identify are the ovaries, two oval organs that are found on each side of the body. So let me open this model. So this yellow organ is the ovary. Okay? If you look at this model, which ovary are we looking at, left or right? This one. Yes, this is the left ovary. The right ovary is here. Okay, also looks yellow and round. Okay, so I want you to also identify the ovary in this part of the model. Ovaries are connected to the uterus through fallopian tubes. So this is the fallopian tube on the left side of the body. There is also a fallopian tube on the right side. The round ligament, in order to find a round ligament, you need to see this base of the model, and it's, let me see if I can find it. This is like a yellow structure inside the pelvic cavity. Okay, so you will need to see this. Just make a note to yourself that it's in the base of the model. Okay, so you can look at it more carefully later on.
Is it yellow or?
It is yellow.
It's you, okay?
Yes, it is yellow. So the function of the round ligament is to connect the uterus to the abdominal wall. And the reason why the round ligament is important is because it gives support to the uterus. A lot of times when women are pregnant, they start to feel some pain in the abdomen. The doctor will tell them, yeah, it's because your round ligament is being stretched, so that you know where that pain comes from. Okay, the fimbria are these red-like structures, okay, that basically connect the fallopian tube to the ovary. Okay, so the fimbria look red. Make a note if you want. The fimbria are finger-like red extensions. Okay, and the idea is that those fimbria will basically capture the oocyte during ovulation. The uterus, here it is. This is the uterus. Okay, a muscular organ made out of smooth muscle. The lining of the uterus is called endometrium, which is basically this pink line, okay, inside the uterus. Okay, this is the endometrium. The endometrium is important during the beginning of the menstrual cycle. When a woman has her period, it is because this tissue, the endometrium, part of the endometrium dies, and so there is bleeding, and all that blood flow occurs from the inside of the uterus through the vagina to the outside. Okay, the cervix is this narrow portion of the uterus. Okay, so this whole thing is the uterus. The narrow portion, this right here, is the cervix. Okay, this is the cervix.
So
basically the tip of the uterus. Okay, the cervix protrudes into the vagina. The vagina is this duct. Okay, the lining of the vagina is wrinkled, and that tissue is known as rugae. Okay. Now, let's look at the external genitalia. So we need to look at the structures that are outside. So we have a labia majus, okay, or labia majora. So it's basically this fold of skin and muscle on the outside. And next to it, you have a labia minus, or labia minora. So there are two labia majora and two labia minora. The minora are medial, the majora are lateral. In this model, we can see the labia majora on the right side, the labia minora on the right side, the labia minora on the left, but the labia majora on the left side has been removed in this model. Now, I want you to look at the lateral aspect of the labia minora in this model. You will see a structure that is erectile tissue called clitoris in the anterior part of the labia minora. So this is the clitoris. Okay, very important erectile tissue. Posterior to the clitoris, there is the labia majora. The greater vestibular gland. The greater vestibular gland is a gland that is important because it produces fluid important for lubrication during intercourse. And posterior to the greater vestibular gland, there is a lesser vestibular gland, okay, posterior to it. So clitoris is anterior, greater vestibular gland, and lesser vestibular gland. Okay?
Could you show it again?
Sure. Clitoris, here. Greater vestibular gland, lesser vestibular gland. Okay?
What is the round ligament?
The round ligament is this yellow ligament that connects the uterus to the anterior abdominal wall. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Let's now look at the male reproductive